Good evening, everybody. It's 9:30 on the East Coast, 6:30 on the West Coast. On a Monday, that must mean it's time for your weekly Calamity Jane live stream. James, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing great. Hope you're well over in Georgia.
Yeah,
That's a lot of
indeed,
wells.
indeed. Yeah, a lot of wells, a lot of wells. We do have a few wells here, I presume, as well. No, things are going good. We had a couple of nice, cool, breezy days, which was pleasant. It's starting to drive back up into the heat again, but for at least a couple of days, I almost like put jeans on again, which is ridiculous for getting to this point in the year. So I'm happy at least.
Wow, jeans in Georgia. It doesn't sound comfortable considering I always consider Georgia balmy and hot. It's like I don't know if I could ever wear jeans in Georgia.
We get like 2 months, two
Okay.
months where you can really comfortably wear jeans, but that's about it.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Well, I guess I'll roll into what we're working on tonight
Yeah,
and
why
we'll
don't we
kind of
why don't we take a look? Why don't we take a look?
all right. Boom. Share. We'll pick up where we left off last week. Anybody who's joining our stream, this is where Eric and I hang out and we talk about pop culture stuff, games, movies, while we hang out in the writer's room and I animate alongside him and I just talking about just random stuff. So for this
Hmm.
week's random stuff is just going to be another shot of Leon trying to blast away at that warhog as it comes towards him and Calamity Jane. So this is a different perspective, different view. So I'll be referring to our master sheet of other poses I've done for Leon, as well as I'm looking for anything else. I have to probably update a couple more shots here. We got this one last week, so I'll probably recycle it and put it here,
Hmm.
and then just draw a new post tonight for here. And if I get time, I'll put in Jane's poses in the backdrop as well. So
All
that's
right.
the evil plan for tonight.
All right. Sounds
Um,
good. Sounds good.
and I mean, I'll get the ball rolling because I know you probably want to talk about this, but I think you finally saw Hail Mary, right?
I
So
did. I did see Operation Hail Mary. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a great deal. Yeah, it was a good, solid movie. Did everything right. It was, you know, yeah. I don't really have any real complaints about it. Frankly, it was just a good, solid movie.
yeah, I mean, I'm with you too. And again, there's not going to be much drama. The past couple of weeks, we've had no drama about stuff, or meaning anything to kind of debate or discuss. Kind of
Yeah,
go on two
yeah.
sides because
Kind of
sometimes
been
we
on
have
the
fun with doing
same.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on Hail Mary as well. I thought it was a good movie. I mean, I wasn't like completely blown away with it. I mean, but I just enjoyed it. I thought it was a good, solid, pre-summer, movie, and it was a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fun. But for the sake of controversy or whatever, I will bring up some gripes I have with the movie.
All right.
I don't
Ready to
put
hear
it,
it. Ready to hear it.
yeah. And I've kind of talked about this before, and here I am animating anthropomorphic characters and stuff like that, right? But for some reason, when it comes to aliens and stuff like that, I don't. There's very few movies that do a good job, exploring aliens because as humans, we keep humanizing them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and in this case, I think there's no real spoiler here. Everybody knows there's an alien in Hail Mary that assists with all the dilemmas that happen with Ryan Gosling's character.
Mm-hmm.
But as they get to know each other, we learn about Rock. Well, I don't know what the character's name was. Rocky, I'm
Rocky.
assuming.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's right on the nose there. Rocky's life, how he had a significant other rock back on his rock planet. There are rock children that are in school. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's
Mm-hmm.
just so I try to suspend my own biases and annoy, and try not to think too much about it. But those type of things bug me. So did these two rocks just happen to start dating and they courted each other and then they maybe had a dramatic breakup at one point and they got back together and then they rolled around over an avalanche and then had, procreated that way? Like, it's just I just don't
I'd
I
watch
can't
that
get into
movie.
yeah, I'm sure you would. I just can't get into movies where they keep putting human traditions and stuff like that onto alien stuff. Like, to me,
Mm-hmm.
and this is why to this day I consider Close Encounters of the Third Kind one of the best alien movies of all time. And it's so funny because it's over, I think at this point, over 40 years old, and yet
Mm-hmm.
Spielberg's the one that got it right. Like it's completely foreign. The only thing that we had going with it with humans was using the universal language of math
Mm-hmm.
and or music to communicate. I mean, it was fascinating. It was mysterious and all the elements. I think I got spoiled from watching that movie, expecting aliens to be more like that. E.T. was actually, Spielberg's E.T. Kind of went on to say like you didn't really know E.T. wasn't dating anybody. Sure he had more of a familial type of a background and stuff like that, but he was still an alien. Like he was felt very other. Meanwhile, Rocky's like dating and they're in a classroom at the end. And this is just me griping. It's not. It doesn't take away from the movie. It's a great family fun movie. But I was rolling my eyes a little bit on that type of stuff. It's like, come on. It's like I'm looking forward to the next Spielbergian type of movie. Aliens, like Alien,
Well,
Predators,
so
kind of.
excited
You
about
know.
Disclosure Day then coming out a little bit in a few months.
Oh, what's disclosure? Fill me in. What's Disclosure Day?
Oh,
Is this?
it's the new Spielberg Alien movie. It's his next flick.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Um, I don't know enough about it to have an opinion. I remember seeing one trailer and it didn't push the needle either way. I was kind of just watching it.
Yeah, same.
Um,
Everything
okay.
I've seen. Excuse me. Sorry, it's a little late for me. Uh, I seen. I think they've released two trailers and maybe a teaser or something. I can't remember exactly how much they've released, but
Hmm.
of all of the the preview footage that I've seen, it seems like okay. I didn't see it and go, oh, shit, I have to watch this movie. I didn't.
Uh-huh.
It was just sort of
Yeah.
like, I mean, yeah, what I will say about it is it's the first time in a long time that I've looked at a Steven Spielberg movie and gone, oh, yeah, okay, I guess I'll go see that. you know?
Yeah, it's sad is we could put Spielberg in the pantheon of directors, especially for yours and I are our generations. We've seen a lot of their stuff, a
Yeah,
lot of his stuff. But yeah, he kind of to me after his last great movie to me was Catch Me If You Can. I think that was after Private Ryan. Private Ryan I thought was
oh yeah, it
incredible,
was. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
it
then
was.
then it sort of kind of petered off for me. I mean, as much as Jurassic Park was like a blockbuster, got the tickets sold and everything. I went and saw that plenty of times when I was younger. I thought it was great, but it wasn't like. But to me, the one that really marked his artistry, that really is a perfect example of Spielberg stuff is Private Ryan, and then Catch Me If You Can was his last solid, really good movie. And after that, I don't haven't, I try not to pay attention to anything. I'm always leaving disappointed with this stuff for recent stuff. Like Abe Lincoln, I
Yeah,
fell asleep.
yeah,
I couldn't, I wanted to watch it. I wanted to enjoy it, but I got bored, man. I don't know how you feel about,
yeah. I couldn't get through
um,
Lincoln. I thought it was aggressively boring, but I also don't understand what the appeal of Daniel Day-Lewis is. He's another one of these actors like Christian Bale, where it's just like
oh gosh,
I don't get it.
man.
I don't get it. I don't know why they cast him as Lincoln. Anyway, yeah, no, I couldn't get through Lincoln. I found it excruciatingly boring.
Man, oh man.
But
Yeah.
I will say I did like Minority Report, and that came out. I mean, that came out the same year as Catch Me If You Can.
Mm,
It came out a little bit earlier. Catch Me If You Can came out
hmm.
on Christmas Day, and I think Minority Report was in the beginning of the year.
Okay. Yeah, that was
Um,
okay. That was good.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was okay. Um,
I mean, did it
it
reach the
just,
heights of some of his other popcorn flicks? No, but I mean, I thought it was a
yeah,
pretty competent movie. I thought there was a few points where he kind of was parodying himself a little bit, like the food in the refrigerator scene, where there was like the fresh food beneath the rotten food, and of course Tom Cruise grabs the rotten food because haha yuck yuck, right? But I think aside from some of those little like unintentionally cheesy or intentionally cheesy but unintentionally unenjoyable um moments, I enjoyed Minority Report, but
hmm,
I certainly like after that he did a slew of stuff that I've just not really found particularly interesting. The Terminal I thought
yeah,
was pretty boring. Lincoln, again, like I said, I thought was excruciatingly boring. I've not seen Warhorse. Maybe Warhorse is amazing, but it certainly didn't seem like something that I would enjoy. So I passed on that. So
Yeah.
I have no opinion on that one.
Yeah.
Um,
Same here.
Ender's Game was terrible. Ready Player One was terrible. Um, uh, you know, I'm trying to think of what else he's done. Oh,
What?
meet the whatever, that semi-autobiographical movie that he did a couple of years ago. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that one.
I don't even know which one you're talking about. The autobiography. Which one is this one? Is
Yeah, Stephen. Uh, 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 it is in. It's called. Oh, yeah, The Fablemans, not Meet the Fablemans. It was just called The Fablemans.
okay.
And
Yeah.
it was basically just the story of Spielberg growing up. Um
Okay.
and how he discovered film. I mean, for me, the most memorable part of that movie was the last scene where, Spielberg is finally discovered and can execute on his love of movies, or excuse me, Fableman or whatever.
Hmm.
And he actually somehow manages to finagle a brief meeting with John Ford, played by David Lynch, and it was just one
That's
of
kind of fun.
just amazing. It was just so beautiful, and it was just this hilarious little brief moment, which Spielberg says really happened, where John Huston was just being an absolute ass, and he had a bunch of like paintings of westerns on his wall, and just kept telling Spielberg to go from painting to painting, and asking him where the horizon was. And basically, the lesson was, if you put the horizon at the top of the frame or the bottom of the frame, it's interesting. But if it's in the middle of the frame, it's boring, right?
Okay. All right.
And that was it. That was the only thing that John, Ford imparted to the nascent burgeoning talent of Steven Spielberg. And so the very last scene of the movie, as his surrogate character is walking into the distance, the camera, I'm trying to remember if this scene correctly, it starts with the horizon incredibly center frame, and then in a fourth wall breaking move, it changes it so the horizon isn't center frame. And it was just
yeah.
this great little moment, and the whole movie was fine, but that last 10 minutes really was just, I mean, that was like the whole movie for me, right? Like, the whole movie was building up to that one sequence, in my opinion. um but yeah, the Fablemans was not bad. I didn't hate that. um but yeah, he's not done a lot of stuff that I've particularly cared about in a very long time.
I think the challenge for him is technology's caught up, and it's more accessible to a lot of people. So the wow factor is kind of gone. His last wow factor movie to me was Jurassic Park, and
Mm-hmm.
that one was mix of practical effects, which only he can get, or a director has a big budget, mixed in with some at that time. We were watching groundbreaking technology in the '90s from James Cameron doing stuff with T2, and we just kept seeing it happen over and over and over again. That was a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fun to
Mm-hmm.
kind of witness
Mm-hmm.
that. And Spielberg took advantage, Spielberg was part of that too with Jurassic Park. But by the time we got to the mid aughts, it kind of felt like everybody had access to that. And then his uniqueness kind of started wearing off because if you didn't have a good script, um,
Yeah.
he was going to be just the same as with a lot of other directors at that point. And so when Minority Report came out, for example, you're right, it's a good movie, but it doesn't jump out at me because it's another same as like anything else. Like I could watch that Death um, Death Die Repeat Tom Cruise
Live, die,
movie, and to me,
repeat. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's it's the
Edge of
same level as
Tomorrow.
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah,
I really loved Live, Die, Repeat. I
yeah,
really, or Edge of Forever or whatever. Edge
yeah. I
of
don't know what the
Tomorrow.
names
I
are
don't know.
anymore.
It's, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's just the name was such an unforgettable name for what I thought was a really great movie. I've
Hmm.
watched that one multiple times. I've really enjoyed it.
Hmm.
Yeah, just looking at the list. Yeah, after Terminal, it was War of the Worlds, which was terrible. Um,
Oh, geez. See, this
yeah,
is where I started losing. Like, I started losing
yeah.
trust in the guy after that one.
Munich
And
was
see,
Munich was decent. I enjoyed Munich.
yeah, that was good. I
Um,
did see that.
Kingdom of
Yeah.
the Crystal Skull was terrible.
Oh, jeez, man.
The Adventures of Tintin I haven't seen. Although I can't. He's not a an animated director, so I can't imagine it was. Yeah, I mean, it would have been a stretch for him because directing animation is a very different process than directing live actors. But who knows? Yeah, Warhorse, like I said, I don't have an opinion on it. Didn't see it. Bridge of Spies, I didn't see.
Yeah, same. I haven't
Um,
seen that one either.
so I don't have an opinion on that one. Another Tom Hanks joint. The BFG I didn't see, but IMDb is not particularly favorable to it. The Post, I don't even know what that movie is. I think I
Same.
vaguely heard about it. Ready Player One, which is terrible. The West Side Story, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was great, but I hate the West Side Story in general. So that has nothing to do with Spielberg. I just don't like the West Side
Hmm.
Story.
Hmm.
Um, and then yeah, and then the Fablemans, and so like this is his first movie in 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I lost trust with him after there was a slew of, a couple of those movies you just said. Ready. I didn't even realize he directed Ready Player One. He was a director
Mm-hmm.
on that.
Mm-hmm. And he
Oh
didn't he
man.
didn't direct he didn't turns out he did not direct uh 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 what was it? What was I saying? Uh oh shoot. I forgot. It wasn't it was very similar to Ready Player One. Oh, Ender's Game. I
Okay.
thought he
He
did.
did not direct that.
I think he only produced it.
And that's the other thing is even with producing, like I don't trust him anymore.
Yeah,
He's had a
yeah.
lot of stinkers even with the producing side of things. But again, that started back in the early aughts again with Transformers, and you got Michael Bay to do the Transformers movies. Thought that was a huge, I'm not a big fan of
Yeah.
Michael Bay.
Oh no,
Thought those are
Spielberg had nothing to do with Ender's Game. My bad.
okay.
As far as I can
Yeah,
tell. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
yeah, that was also not a good movie. But anyway, that's
Yeah,
neither
but
here
his
nor there.
list, yeah, but his producer credits are just too. Like last time I remember, anything I give him credit for producing is like Back to the Future or something like that. Where he's associated
Mm-hmm.
with it in some
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
side way. Those are the ones that you really kind of put your hat, you hang your hat on. Um, yeah, there's too many movies where he's like just kind of, back to where a favorite meter of is it worth our time or not? He's definitely not worth my time
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
trust anymore because of how he does these, the choices he makes. Like when he started doing Lincoln, I was like, why?
Mm-hmm.
What, like
I mean,
these other
honestly,
movies that,
a part of me feels like he's still apologizing for the color purple. um,
oh really?
well, I mean, I'm being flippant. I don't have any actual information, but I do know that he was kind of took a lot of shit for that for a long time because I think they felt it was pretty tone deaf and that he didn't really fully understand the source material well enough to take on that project.
Okay.
And so he kind of got lambasted for it and some, mild accusations of racism, which are whatever, it doesn't matter. But um uh because I don't think any of that is accurate. Um but yeah, I mean, like I feel like he went on and did Amistad later, and then Lincoln
Mm-hmm.
later, and so
Mm-hmm.
he really kind of leaned into the sort of abolitionist mindset of that era,
Mm.
and so I don't know if that's one of the reasons why he took Lincoln, but I kind of still feels like that's the case.
He was desperately trying to once again do another thing.
Prove
Yeah,
that he
maybe.
was,
'Cause I do remember he was getting some flack for Amistad a little bit.
yeah, he got flagged for Amistad as well. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but oh, I was gonna say I was gonna say though, rewind a little bit. We're kind of overlooking Schindler's List,
Yeah, which is great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, that one was right up there with probably Private Ryan or probably in the top
Mm-hmm.
five for him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean,
But
he's
yeah, going
done. Yeah, I mean, like he's done. Like I think part of his, to a certain extent, as with all things, he to a certain extent became a victim of his own success, right? I mean,
yeah.
for
Hmm.
the better part of 25 years, like he didn't make a movie that people didn't like, right? I mean,
Hmm.
everything
Hmm.
he did for, were basically bangers, right? I mean, like people can have, individuals can have opinions about whether they liked one movie or another movie, but The zeitgeist certainly thinks that Spielberg
Hmm.
was basically batting 1,000 for like 25 years nearly, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then yeah, once the millennium turned, and I think you're right, technology changed was a part of it, and 9/11 happened, and it kind of changed the mood of American culture. I think he didn't adapt. I think he was getting on the older side, and I don't think he adapted to the changing climates of society. And I don't think he's ever really been able to fully recapture what he had in the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yeah. And this is they, but no matter what, I think his run is probably, I was argue, is probably the best run for a director of all
Mm-hmm.
time. Still at this point, like we have flashes of influential directors, but nobody, I don't think anybody will really rival pretty much his 2 decade run. Or no,
Mm-hmm.
actually three. I mean, two and a half, three.
Yeah,
But
two
yeah,
and a
I
half,
mean,
three. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
yeah, with Jaws, Close Encounters, like in the '70s,
E.T. in the
and
early 80s. You
and yeah,
had
he kept going and
Raiders, Temple
going.
of Doom. I mean,
Yeah,
I know people like bitch about Temple of Boom, but it's a great movie. I'm sorry. Like I'll die on that hill. I think Temple of Doom gets way more shit than it deserves.
yeah,
Um and people loved it when it came out originally. It's always this, I don't know, it's the most toxic part of fandom is the benefit of hindsight, right?
yeah.
Where people love something in the moment, and then in hindsight they're like, no, actually that was terrible and I hated it all along. And it's like, no, you obviously didn't hate it all along, but whatever.
Yeah, but I will have to disagree on this. I think Temple of Doom was a terrible movie. I saw that in the theater.
Really?
Yes, and the reason why, being Indian of descent,
Mm,
the amount of stares I got walking out of that white theater after the movie was scarring.
mm. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
understand that.
because in the next couple of weeks, I got asked if I had to eat a monkey brain and stuff like that. Because again, we do have a
Yeah.
lot of ignorant people. So yeah, with I'm with probably the majority of people that probably don't like that one out of the bunch. But for sure, Raiders of the Lost Ark was good.
Mm-hmm.
And Last Crusade was great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Temple of Doom, I feel like it was a waste of it's just a waste of Ford's, prime.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a really strong, I don't remember the actor's name. They got a really strong actor, and I believe, yeah, the one that played, there was a couple of them, and some of them regretted even doing the role afterwards because of how it created perception for a long time that, I mean, and I as a kid had to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. I mean, I don't want to dwell on the negative stuff. But yeah, I definitely on this one, yeah, no, Temple of Doom was just as bad as as advertised. It was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
And here's an interesting thing: is it feels like, Spielberg's youngish at the time. I think he was, I don't know, in his 20s or 30s. I think at the time, I think Gandhi beat him out for an Academy Award, and then there was all, and this is all just myth, but they said that the myth was this was Spielberg's tantrum, is creating Temple of Doom and making sure to um, do something in India, but also it wasn't very good on
Mm-hmm.
purpose. Now he'll deny that, and fans will say one thing or another, but the timing is very peculiar. But yeah, with all that said, I don't, you know, he's made a lot of other great movies, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
never
Yeah, for sure.
hold, that's the one. It's a black mark on his resume for me, for sure. But yeah, there's plenty of other movies around that, and oddly enough, I could watch Temple of Doom. It's much more palatable than Crystal Skull,
Mm-hmm.
or
Agreed. Yeah.
what's
Yeah,
the
for
most
sure.
recent one? I can't remember what the most recent one was.
Oh, the Dial of Destiny.
Yeah, he kind of they kind of smashed the Indiana Jones franchise, sadly. But as far as Raiders is concerned, I think it's a great movie. I really enjoyed Raiders. It's probably my
Mm-hmm.
favorite one out of the whole bunch.
I still
Last
haven't.
Crusade was good too.
Yeah, I still haven't played it. It's on my list. But I've heard that the what is it, Circle of the World or whatever the game was actually excellent.
Yeah.
Um, uh, and Troy Baker does does Indiana Jones, and he does a great job. and Machine Games is the Great Circle is what it was called.
Hmm.
And Machine Games did the game, and they did like a few of the Wolfenstein revival games that were pretty well
Hmm.
received, and everybody I know who's played it says it was great. Um, so it's been on my list for quite a while. I just still haven't gotten around to it.
I'm trying to be a cheap gamer with it because I bought a Lenovo laptop
Mm-hmm.
and it
Mm-hmm.
supposedly
Mm-hmm.
comes with Xbox Game Pass, and because of that, I could probably just play the new Indiana Jones game with the free, whatever Game Pass thing, Bob, but I haven't. I'm too lazy to actually activate it,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if it's expired by now, but either way, I'd like to get around to playing it, but I'm still playing. I still haven't had a chance to even get through other games that I have on my list. So I don't know
Right.
when I'm going to
Right.
get through it.
Right.
So I'll wait for you again. I'll wait for your review to see what happens
Well,
with that one. If you get to it first.
yeah, uh I've only seen it on sale at most for like 30% off, which isn't
Hmm.
deep enough discount for me. Like if I were like desperate for a new game that maybe it would be, but like you said, my backlog is infinitely deep at this point. So
Yeah,
I have the luxury of not being hungry for games to play. And so I will wait for the inevitable 50% or more discount.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
even if that's years later.
I can't remember if I told you about that website Deku Deals, but I have it on my list watching that game, but it never goes on. It rarely goes on sale, and like you
Mm-hmm.
said, it's
Mm-hmm.
always at the most 15 to 30% off, and it's never
Mm-hmm.
enough to want to pull the trigger on it. But eventually, now with how Xbox is, are they just going to just port it to every single platform on Earth now too? On top of that,
It's
it's like
already on
played on.
PS5,
Yeah.
and it's coming out on Switch 2 later this year. So the answer is yes.
So I'm assuming you're going to get on Switch 2 if it comes out.
No, I probably won't. IdTech, that's the graphics engine that they used, is pretty. I don't know. Like I think this will probably be the first game on the Switch 2 that uses that technology set. So
Hmm.
I will probably just pick it up on PC and play it that way. Especially now
Mm.
that I've got my computer successfully and conveniently plugged into my main TV. It's not, I just, me, I mean, I don't like playing video games in my office chair sitting 3 inches from my 40-inch monitor. Wearing headphones. I'd rather
Yeah.
sitting about 6 feet from my 65-inch television and play, on a comfy couch with surround sound. Right, it's a much
Hmm.
more in tantalizing prospect of playing games.
Yeah, and then yeah, your system sounds awesome. I mean, from
Mm-hmm.
what you told me, I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
haven't heard it, but yeah, you have to take advantage of it, especially if
Yeah,
you're playing a game like you
it
know.
could be better. I mean, like um my back satellite speakers are still not perfectly balanced, but that's also partially because they're sitting on the ground behind my couch, right? And I just like one of these days I'll move into a space where I can properly mount everything, just a couple of inches below the ceiling and get them angled down properly, which is where they're really supposed to be.
Hmm.
But one of these days, I'll have a space where I can do something like that, and then it's just like right now in the surround sound, it sounds good for the most part, but like when people
Hmm.
are talking, when that dialogue is coming from the back speakers, it sounds somewhat echoey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not as crisp as I would like it to be, and a part of it is just where the speakers are. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation. But I mean, like uh misses, going back to Spielberg, he definitely had some misses in his first sort of 25 years. But I mean, I think that was a lot lower than it is now, right?
Hmm.
Obviously, Temple of the Doom is definitely missed for you, and I thought Color Purple wasn't great, and I've not seen it, but I've heard 1942 was terrible. Um,
What's that one? I haven't heard of that
it
one.
was a
Is that a?
comedy. It was a comedy he did with John Belushi, actually.
Oh, okay. All right.
Um,
Wow.
um, but I mean, like, for as much shit as he got for it, I thought Amistad was actually a really good movie.
Uh-huh.
And it really was gave Anthony Hopkins an opportunity to stretch his acting chops. That monologue that he gives towards the end of the movie as John Quincy Adams was incredible.
Hmm.
Um, and the the general like consensus I feel like is that Spielberg is still one of the greats. Like even if he never does another good movie for the rest of his life.
Yeah, he doesn't need to. He's already proven himself like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
500 times over with this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
I just
yeah,
I
that's
just
not a
don't
good
think
problem.
he I just think he got out of sync with what moviegoers were looking for
Hmm.
and hasn't really ever been able to reclaim that glory to a certain extent.
But it makes me wonder now, like right now, who is a director that has the pulse of, on anything? I don't know if there's anybody right now.
I'd argue that the closest is Chris Miller and Phil Lord. Um,
Oh yeah, I guess you're right on that because well, for pop culture stuff for sure, like it just
mhm.
feels like, yeah,
You know, the,
yeah.
the
I mean,
the stuff that they've
yeah,
been doing is, been hitting really hard. I mean, like to bring it full circle back to Project Hail Mary, right?
yeah.
Um, they're making crowd pleasers right now. Now, I mean, I think the difference is that I've seen a lot of what they do, and I think they're hilarious, and I really enjoy their work. For the most part. But I haven't seen anything that they've done where I'm like, wow, yeah, I'm gonna be watching this in 25 years. It's mostly like, yeah, this was fun. I had a good time. This wasn't a waste of my time. Um, I think, and I'm biased obviously, but it's a totally different beast too. Quentin Tarantino,
Hmm.
um, for at least for my money, hasn't made a bad movie
Hmm.
in his entire career. Now he is not, he's a quarter as prolific as Spielberg, right? I mean, like we just looked in 2022, Spielberg had 2 movies come out, and Tarantino hasn't released a movie in 6 years or more.
Yeah, his last one was the Hollywood one, right?
Yeah, yeah. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And he was gonna do the movie critic and then abandoned ship on that and went back to the drawing board. And then
I thought
like
he was going to do a Star Trek as well for his final. Like he's supposed to do his last movie, right? Like I thought he
Yeah,
had
yeah, yeah. He's
some
got one
finite
more.
number.
Yeah, he said from the time when he started directing, he said he was going to direct 10 movies, and that was it. And yeah, we're at number 10 now, by his reckoning at least.
And then also, I thought they were doing a sequel to the Hollywood movie. But
They
he's
are.
producing it or
He's
something. Like he's
producing
not.
it. Yeah, he's producing it, and I think he co-wrote it, and David Fincher is directing it.
Okay, yeah. Which
So
is, I mean, that's cool.
yeah, it's
You
not like
know.
it's not like an obvious cash grab, given the pedigree behind it. Um,
Yeah.
But I mean, I've seen the trailer and I don't really know what to make of the movie. It almost looks like
Same.
a weird action spy thriller movie. I don't know. I don't It's very strange.
And it feels like this could have been his 10th movie, and he said, "No, I'll just be a producer on it because he wants to save his last bullet for whatever he wants
For
to do."
whatever, yeah, right,
Yeah,
exactly.
and maybe but I don't know. I'm just completely just speculating as an outsider, but yeah, I wasn't really impressed with the trailer either. I was like, but I mean, I know you're a fan of Quentin Tarantino. I'm always kind of neutral with him.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy some of his movies. Like I really liked Kill Bill Volume One. Number two, I wasn't into as much, but number one was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, Django Unchained was fun. It was great. It just kind of hit or miss for me. I get kind of
Mm-hmm.
bored, but the one with Brad, like the World War II one with I think Brad Pitt was the tank commander or something like that in that, like
Well,
whatever it was.
I mean, it's Tank Commander and Fury, but yes, he was the leader of a guerrilla troop of
Yeah, I get it mixed
soldiers.
up.
Yeah, that were dead dropped into Germany and called themselves appropriately enough, the Inglorious Bastards, and it was
Yes.
comprised
Okay. Yeah.
completely of Jewish soldiers, and they were just basically,
Yeah. Killing
enacting guerrilla
everything and
warfare against the Nazis.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was great. And then I think was Christopher Waltz in that as the villain?
Christoph Waltz.
Was that one of
Yeah,
his
That was
He's
the yeah, that's the one that like basically brought
put him
him
on the map.
into Hollywood. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
he
he
was
is, and he's always been good, in everything he does.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He was a, incredibly successful actor on the other side of the Atlantic, but he had never really made a huge splash in the States until Inglorious Bastards.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, Tarantino is kind of up there, I guess. But I don't know where I put him. I mean, you can always go with Scorsese, or there's always
Sure, but I mean
the Mount
Scorsese
Rushmore.
too, like again, I don't think there's ever going to be any doubt that he's going to be considered one of the all-time greats, but
Hmm.
I frankly haven't really seen anything that he's done in a long time that
Uh-huh.
I've been
Agreed.
particularly, and
Yeah,
I think The Departure, I mean the Departed was the last thing of his that I really really thought was great. Um and then everything after that has been kind of like, you know, like
yeah,
his weird obsession with continuing to work with um Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro, but like like The Irishman is what I'm dancing around. Is like he
yeah.
used that horrible CG to try to de-age them, and
It
it
did
just
not. It did not
looked
work.
awful, and it just sounded like two 70-year-old guys, the voices of two 70-year-old plus guys coming out of the horrible CG faces of simulacra of Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci. And I like Robert De Niro and I like Joe Pesci a lot, but it was just such a weird, ill-advised move on his part, in my opinion.
I can't blame him for trying though. I don't mind that part. I think it's fine, but yeah, his best movies are behind him too. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and
Um,
I mean, the two I'll say about Scorsese is like my favorite Scorsese movies are all of his non-crime movies, right? Like
yeah.
Casino and The Godfather, I could take it or leave it, frankly. Neither one of them really grabbed me, and I liked The Departure, but that's not even in his top five for me, right?
Uh-huh.
Goodfellas is another one that everybody loves, and I just don't get it. But you want to talk Scorsese, then yeah, sure. Let's talk about Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. Let's talk about Who's That Knocking at My Door. Raging Bull. Let's talk about
Hmm.
After Hours and The Aviator. Like even Shutter Island. Quite frankly, it just he
Hmm.
has this weird obsession with crime drama, and I'm just never on board with it for whatever reason.
Yeah, once again, you and I are in agreement. I'm with you on that too. I never cared for. I mean, I've seen The Godfather. Everybody tells you need to go see it, all that stuff. I was kind of bored
Well,
watching it.
The Godfather was
Blasphemy,
Coppola,
you know. Oh,
but
I'm sorry. Uh,
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. Yeah, yeah, no. Yeah, Goodfellas. Like the mob thing for me, I don't get it. I don't
Yeah,
understand it. To bring it back to what you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, there so much so that I lump them all together. So The Godfather
Right,
and
exactly,
Casino.
exactly.
That's. I mean, I just blur them because they're not. I don't understand the
No,
fascination with them, but yet,
yeah,
America loves them.
yeah, 100%. Like I've seen Casino, which is 2 hours too long in my opinion. And Goodfellas once each. And if you showed me a scene from either of those movies,
You wouldn't know.
I don't know that I would be able to tell them apart, frankly.
But
Um,
then you go with Raging Bull, and that's an art piece.
yeah,
You know,
absolutely, absolutely. I mean,
it's incredible.
people have stills from that movie printed out as
Yeah,
posters
you
hanging from their
can't. Yeah.
walls.
And what
Um,
happened to that guy? What
yeah,
happened to that
right,
director?
right,
It's
yeah.
always what I ask, for
Hmm.
that. But it's funny.
Mean Streets, that is a crime drama, but that one I actually really like, right?
Hmm.
Because it wasn't like sort of the grandiose mafioso. It's about a guy, trying to make his way in the world, and he falls into a life of crime, and it was a lot more interesting than some of his more grandiose crime dramas, in my
Hmm.
opinion.
Hmm.
But anyway,
Yeah, it's kind of funny how we kind of run the gamut of other directors while talking about Hail Mary.
yeah.
Oddly
Well, that
enough,
was a jumping off point, right?
Yeah,
Have you seen the trailer for
yeah.
Disclosure Day? An hour late, he's like, I feel like Raging Bull is a better Scorsese movie than.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, this is what happens when you don't have planned notes for
Yes,
for a conversation.
yeah. In general, though, I think I'm in a pretty good spot for tonight. I'm
Okay.
just wrapping up
Okay.
this last pose, but I think we're in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, we got the last pose here. I'm gonna have to animate this part to go into this pose, this final pose here. but yeah, and then just kind of recycled some other animation stuff here. Same pose we did last week here. Yeah, so it's just coming together more or less the same. And then
Mm-hmm.
next up will be this, the zoom out. We have some of it already done, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we'll do a little bit of that. But yeah,
All
I think we're
right.
in
All
pretty good shape
right.
for tonight.
Making progress. Making progress. All right. Well, we'll call it there then. If you're watching this now or later, when you head on over to calamitygene.rocks, it'll take you to our website, our Patreon site. You can subscribe there if you want to. Us help us make this cartoon a reality. We're also on the socials, Facebook, YouTube. Presumably, you know that because you're watching this. We're also on Instagram. It's just another place where you can get updates and details about what we're working on. But in the meantime, let me check my calendar here because I'm a busy dude. Yeah, by all accounts, I should be here ready to go to uh, to uh, to stream next week. So yeah.
Cool. Next week it is.
All right. Well, on that note, have a great night, everybody. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon. Good night.
Good night.